Hi. So today we're going to talk about my journey from being diagnosed with autoimmune to today. I've never done a recap from start to finish. So if there's some repetition here, sorry about that, but I just want to catch everybody up. Anyone that's new or just wants a recap. The diagnosis was in August of 2022. Today is April of 2024. But I want to give you a little history because I think it's really important to note what led up to this. So as a kid and growing up, my diet was not standard American diet, but not the best diet. There was some junk and, poor eating habits. So by the time I was in my 20s, I developed a keen interest in food. So though I had some really unhealthy habits, I also had really healthy habits. I can't even believe it's the same person, honestly. I cannot get into the mindset whenever I look back. I don't relate to that person at all. It's so hard. I mean, we're talking about like 40 years here. There's been a lot of evolution, but I was trying, I was trying in my own way. Like I shopped at health food stores. Back then we called them health food stores. I don't think anyone ever says that now. I was trying to get as much organic food as I can. I was eating whole food. I was reading all the books, like all the books on nutrition and nutrition from a granola perspective, right? Not the food pyramid nutrition. I was vegetarian since I was a teenager. And I also went more plant-based off and on, probably 50-50. Half vegetarian, half totally plant-based. I use the word vegan a lot because I think it's shorthand. I know that it's a political word and it doesn't really fit me in that regard. But like when the food says vegan on it, sometimes I forget and I just say it because it's the fast way to say it. The more accurate way to say it is plant-based because I don't have that full lifestyle of veganism. Do you know what I mean? Like I wear leather. Do I even wear leather anymore? Yeah, I have some leather shoes. So, technically it's just plant-based. So I was that back and forth and I was still making every effort to eat the good food, but I still had unhealthy habits. Then when I was about 40, I had really refined things. In my 20s, I got my first Vitamix. So I have been drinking green smoothies for a really long time. And juicing. I was really into juicing. I still love juicing. I don't juice right now because it's just so I'm so busy right now that I can't. That couple of minutes extra and the mess of cleaning it up, that's what I don't like about juicing is it's the cleaning of the juicer. And it's so easy to put stuff in the blender and go that I haven't been juicing right now, but if I had more time I would because I really enjoy the juice. And I think there's a lot of benefit to the juice. So I was doing the juicing, I was doing the green smoothies, I was eating really healthy, lots of salads, but I still had unhealthy stuff too. I'm talking like go to the pub every week or two with friends and have a pint or something like that and french fries, right? Although I did love to go to the organic pub and drink organic stuff, but even then it was pretty minimal and moderate. And then when I was traveling, I would indulge in whatever I wanted. I even ate seafood too when I was traveling. But the rest of the time, and the groceries that I bought, super healthy, shopped at the farmer's market, got everything local as best I could, because I think you really get a lot more nutrition when you do that. And I wanted to support my local farmers who were awesome. So I developed really strong habits in my 40s. I also drank coffee still, which I don't do anymore, but I love coffee. It's wonderful. Like, if I could get away with it, I would still do it. It was always organic. Everything was organic. In my 40s, it was very easy to get. It was much more available. So pretty much 90 to 99% of what I consumed was organic. That doesn't make it all okay. So like organic sugar is still sugar, for instance, and I was putting that in my coffee, but I was still, like everyone I knew always told me, you eat the healthiest of anyone I know. Everyone would always say that to me. But I know that it still needed refinement. I especially know now. Oh, and with weight, so my weight fluctuated quite a bit, I guess up until, it's so ironic because post-menopause, my weight has been fine. And people always say that that's the hardest time to maintain a good weight, but it's totally the opposite for me because I think because my habits I had refined my habits by then. Now I don't want to lose any more weight, but That's another story. So my weight fluctuated. I cracked that nut. I figured it out. By 40, I really didn't care anymore. I just wanted to be a healthy weight. And there were different reasons, like the migraines, being nauseous and eating all the time, eating that comfort food all the time to try to mitigate the nausea from the migraines. That's what really did it to me when I was in my late 40s at that time. So I figured that out. It didn't take long at all to fix that. And like psychologically, there's no baggage around that. My mindset is totally different than it used to be. I remember it being so hard to lose weight when I was young. I was young and fit, and it was so hard and occupied a lot of my mental bandwidth. So unnecessary. God, I wish I had all that time that I spent thinking and dealing with that when it was so easy now. Like I look back and I think, I wish I had the mindset I have now. But I didn't, and I didn't have the information I have now. But I had some really healthy habits. Like I went to the gym all the time, swam laps all the time. I was always active, walked a lot. So I had some really good foundations. So now we're in my 50s, weight's stable, habits are healthy, vegetarian, not totally plant-based, but mostly lots and lots of whole foods. But I wasn't strict, and I didn't really care if I was or not, because I was in such a good place with food and I just wanted to eat whatever I wanted, and I did. But like if I had cookies, for instance, they would be organic homemade cookies that didn't have all the junk in it. Junk, right? No, none of the chemicals, nothing like that. No GMOs, nothing. Organic, everything. Ingredients and whole ingredients. So I was just eating, as far as I was concerned, unrestricted, but even though everything was organic, which it's just a normal thing for me, so that's not a restriction for me. And it was so easy to get. I had abundance in that way. And if I wanted to eat cake, I would just either make my own cake with all the cleaner ingredients, the organic stuff. I wouldn't never buy it from the regular grocery store, right? It would either come from the co-op and it'd be organic, or I'd make it myself. But there wasn't a lot of that. It was special occasion type stuff. And when I was traveling, whatever I wanted. When I'm traveling, I always seek out the farm to table, the good food. Like I'm not going to eat the junky junk. Do you know what I mean? I really like the good stuff. I think it tastes better, and I'm not gonna feel like I just couldn't go to a mainstream restaurant and enjoy the food because I just wouldn't. So fast forward to my 50s, and now I have these good habits, but there was like a 5-year span of trauma. There were really intense things going on, people dying, significant loss, things got super rocky, and it was just a really, really hard time. And I didn't have the skills that I have now, because now I'm doing the nervous system therapy and I'm working with someone who's taught me how to manage stress. And back then I did not know how to manage stress, and I would internalize it, and it just wasn't good for my body. 5-year span of difficulty, and it wasn't all difficult. There were some really good times in that 5-year span, but there was enough difficulty that I think it took a massive toll on my health. So made some big changes, and I've told this story before that I was doing a lot of gardening. It started with the hands, then it was the feet, then it was the elbows, then all this joint pain. I couldn't think straight. I had so much brain fog. Part of that was from all the stress, but I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I went to the doctor, got the blood work, got diagnosed. So I immediately just fell back on what I knew before from my totally plant-based days, and I cut out any extraneous oil, and I went gluten-free right away too, just in case. And it was such a bummer because I had just learned how to make sourdough bread, and I was making really yummy stuff, the beautiful boules and sourdough cinnamon rolls, and just it was so fun to make that. And it was such a bummer to give up the sourdough, because I love it so much. But I did. I haven't looked back. I've had bread twice since then. Once in a pizza and once for Thanksgiving. Okay, so then I just fell back on what I knew and did that for a few months, and then I ran across Dr. Goldner's videos. YouTube just put her in my feed somehow magically, and I loved her immediately. So there wasn't really anything new. The only thing that might have been different is the inflammation pathways that she talks about. I took her class, the free class that she has on her website. I watched pretty much every single video that she ever did. And sometimes I watched them more than once. Like I just had her on a loop. I'd never approached nutrition from an autoimmune standpoint. So what I loved about her is that she had overcome this thing that I was grappling with. And whenever I have a challenge, I look for people that have overcome it already. And I tried to, been dealing with the migraines for a really long time, and I had tried everything. And I mean everything. So I tried all raw, gluten-free. Well, the only thing I didn't try was meat because I'm not open to that. Because people have asked me, like, what if you went carnivore and could get rid of the migraines? I just don't think I could live like that. I don't think I could do it. So I tried everything but that. And everything, colonics, the juicing, all that stuff. It just didn't work. I think it has to help, but some kind of neurological thing with me. It wasn't a dietary thing. Dr. Goldner, she had migraines too, so I had high hopes that it would kill the migraines too, but there wasn't much different. The only thing I really changed was I added more cruciferous vegetables. I already knew about the cruciferous vegetables, and I was eating a lot of those anyway, but I did steam my broccoli, and now I almost prefer raw broccoli. And I was still doing the flax and chia even. I just wasn't doing the amounts, did that. And then when I did add stuff in, it was a little bit of falafel from Trader Joe's, which has some questionable oil in it. I can't remember, I think sunflower. And some of the vegan feta, which has coconut oil. Didn't bother me. My numbers still went down, so I was always getting tested along the way. My numbers kept coming down, so I knew it was safe. Right before October, I'm trying to think when I had that 2-month migraine. I had a 2-month migraine that completely threw me off. Never had a migraine that long. This one got me to go to the hospital because I thought something was happening. It was really, really, really bad. Went on for 2 months. Couldn't figure it out. Don't know why. Was it the stress? I don't know. I have no idea what caused that. But it was awful. Never happened before. I was still at the tail end of the migraine in October, and a friend of mine came to visit, and we had planned that we were going to go to this pizza place that we love and have sourdough pizza. And I'm really determined to not be so strict that I never have stuff like this. But because of the migraine, when I went in for my blood work, my provider was like, I don't want to do blood work while you're having this migraine. So I skipped a blood work. And this is where it gets confusing to me because I don't know where exactly things went wrong. She thinks it could have been the migraine that threw off my immune system. That's what she thinks. But for me, I don't really know because that coincides with when I ate. It was just a couple slices of pizza. And then I had, that was October. And then in November for Thanksgiving, I had pie and stuffing, which were gluten. And everything I had was plant-based. I know that the processed food isn't good, right? We all know this. And I know that she did a video on this recent study, but we all knew this stuff, right? We all knew it's not good for us. So for me, I don't go off the rails. I can have the piece of pizza and not go crazy, right? I don't have to have the whole pizza. I can have a piece or two. I was well behaved, and it didn't trigger going back to old habits or anything like that. It did the opposite. It makes me feel like I can stick to this permanently if I know that when I want to, I can have something like that. Like every 6 months, a piece of pizza. I still think that's very reasonable. But moving forward, I want the blood work to show whether I can or can't do it. I just couldn't monitor it that great this time because of what was going on. So moving forward, I'll do my best to do that so that I can tell, because I really want to know if I can handle this or not. And if the data shows me that I can't handle it and it doesn't work for me, then I'll make changes accordingly. But for now, I'm sticking to this thing where I can have pizza again, and I'm not going to give it up for the rest of my life because it's just really important to me. And the other key thing about this is after the 4 weeks, I had no more symptoms. So you're supposed to go until you don't have symptoms, which I did. It took the whole 4 weeks. It was like that last week. And I was willing to go. I thought I was going to have to keep going, but I didn't. And the symptoms were gone, and they haven't come back. So this whole entire time, I'm only going by blood work. I'm not going by symptoms. I don't have symptoms, but I'm still really picky about my blood work. And I'm going to use that as a way to monitor where I'm at so that I don't have to get the symptoms again, so that I can manage this without having, because it was bad. So this really reversed that, and it's been sustainable. And I actually really love the food. Okay, so why did I do 6 more weeks? Thanksgiving, I had the stuffing and the pie, and I still hadn't had any blood work. And then right around Christmas time, a couple weeks leading up to Christmas, I was still losing weight. I'd lost much more weight than I was comfortable with. This whole entire time, by the way, from start to finish, I've lost 15 pounds. I really didn't want to lose any pounds. And I kept losing weight. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have the cookies. So I wanted the fun, festive, Christmassy stuff, right? So I had Simple Mills, which has sunflower oil in it. They're gluten-free and plant-based, but they do have sunflower, so I've got my eye on the sunflower. Gosh, there really wasn't that much. Oh, you know what else I had is Miyoko's cheese, the vegan cheese, and Simple Mills crackers, like cheese and crackers, right? And kombucha. You know, when people are having their cocktails and I'm having my kombucha and I want the cheese and crackers. So nothing crazy, okay? Everything was plant-based. It was just a little more processed, or a lot more processed than what I have, because normally I don't have processed stuff. So I got the blood work. Okay, my friend just came over and I totally forgot where I was. So let's just start with this last round of blood work, okay? So that was also messed up because they forgot one of the things, the CRP, which is the inflammation marker, which ended up being fine, but I wanted the full panel like I usually get. The one thing I was really excited about for this blood work was I got my omegas tested, which may not be the most accurate blood test in the world, but it was really important for me to know if all this flax and chia that I was consuming was doing the job. And it was a conversation with my eye doctor that prompted this, because he didn't think it was. So after that appointment, I came home, I did some research, and I was like, you need a lot of flax and chia, way more than the half a cup that I was having, like an unsustainable amount, an undoable amount of consumption to get the amounts of omega-3 that he wanted me to consume, which was standard amount. It wasn't anything over. We're gonna go over this in another video because I'm really excited about this discovery. So then I got the numbers back and they improved, so that's good, but I expected them to be like 100% improved, right? Because I did it 6 weeks, and the last time I did it 4 weeks. And the 6 weeks, by the way, was much easier than the 4 weeks. For some reason, I guess my habits had changed so much that by then it didn't seem that hard. But again, I didn't have symptoms to go by. It was really simple the first time because I just waited for the symptoms to go away. And the second time there were no symptoms. So I was just kind of winging it and thinking I was doing extra, right? And I would get extra results. But the numbers weren't as good as I thought, but it still was improvement. So I'll take it. And plus all my other blood work was great. The provider was happy. There we go. So that's from now. So I started adding in sweet potatoes, tofu, potatoes, other whole foods that I knew were safe. I still haven't had it in beans, which I'm gonna do real soon, maybe even today because it's cold and it's kind of a day for like beans and rice or something. But I've been taking it really, really slow, and I'm only gonna add in what I know is safe from the last time. The other factor is there's a lot of change and stress going on again, and I can handle it a lot better now, but it's just a lot, and my time is so minimal. So I feel kind of overwhelmed right now, and I know that's not good for me. Also, one thing I didn't talk about was coinciding with this last round of blood work, there was a major loss in my life, and that could also be. So when I talked to my provider about it, she was like, well, you had the 2-month migraine, you have the loss, your blood work is extremely good considering those things. So I do think that that played into the situation, but still no symptoms. I'm feeling great. I have lots of energy. Once I get kind of caught up and I'm not so overwhelmed with all the stuff I have to do, it's just too much stuff and I have to do it. Like I have no choice. And it's just gonna get done. And then after, hopefully I can take a breather. I want a vacation. I wanna go on vacation. I'm actually thinking about doing that. And if I do, I'll take you with me. So I hope what I said makes sense, because when my friend came over, I got completely distracted and I don't have time to watch the video again to see what's happening. I'll figure it out when I'm editing it, but I hope that this helps you see the trajectory and that it's not a linear, it's not like this, you know, healing is not like this for everybody. Sometimes it does this, but I'm still going upward. Like it's still getting better. If you compared the way I was in August of 2022 to the way I am now, it's like a different person as far as how I feel and mentally and physically. My brain works now and it wasn't working then at all. It was getting really scary. And I know a lot of it was the stress. It wasn't all autoimmune, but still, like, these changes help so much. I'm much clearer. I feel like my energy, what do you call this? My frequency is better. It's obviously better to me. Like, I just feel so much better. There were many other people that factored into my approach to food. There's other doctors that I read and continue to read because I just love this stuff. So I'm always learning about this stuff because I can't get enough of it. It's awesome. It's fun. It's food. I love food, and I want to optimize my nutrition. So I pay attention to Dr. Greger and Chef AJ and Natalia Rose, and man, there's a list a mile long of people. I cherry pick what I think will work for me, and then based on my blood and my symptoms, I'll know if it works or not. And I really think we're all a little bit different, and maybe every single thing that works for me won't work for everybody else. And so if you do those things, then you'll know what works for you too. And maybe you can eat the chocolate chip cookies, and if you can, good for you. Because if I could get away with it, I would totally do it. But I'm not there yet, may never be there. But that's okay because I can eat mangoes and I can eat all kinds of other good stuff. So it's okay. It's good. I still love the food I eat. I'm really passionate about my food, and I'm grateful that I love this kind of food because some people don't. And if you are one of the people that don't, you can make yourself love it. Like, I used to hate kale, love other greens, but hated kale. And I read about how healthy it was. So I kept eating it until I liked it. And now I love kale and I have it all the time. So you can learn to like things because they're good for you. Okay, so I hope you have a fabulous week. I hope your healing journey is going well. I appreciate you. I adore you. Happy healing.